The haunting reflection. Sophie had recently moved into a small, old apartment in the city, but there was one thing that made her uneasy: a large antique mirror in the hallway. Despite its oddness, she decided to leave it where it was. The first night, Sophie was lying in bed trying to fall asleep when she heard something. It was a soft sound, almost like a whisper, but it was coming from the hallway. She got up to check but saw nothing, only the mirror, reflecting the dim light from her bedroom. The next few nights the whispers continued. Sometimes it sounded like a woman crying, other times like muffled voices. Sophie tried to ignore it, telling herself it was just the old building settling. Then one evening, while passing the hallway, she glanced at the mirror and froze. For a split second she saw something in the reflection. Someone standing behind her. A tall, shadowy figure with hollow eyes. She spun around, but there was no one there. Shaking, Sophie stepped closer to the mirror, her heart pounding. She watched as her own reflection smiled, without her mouth moving. The reflection's smile grew wider, unnaturally wide, until it seemed to stretch beyond human limits. Terrified, Sophie backed away and ran to her room, locking the door behind her. But from that night on, she could feel the eyes of the figure in the mirror following her every move. Each time she looked at it, the shadow seemed closer, the face more distinct. One morning, Sophie awoke to find the mirror had been moved. It was no longer in the hallway, but now positioned directly across from her bed. The reflection was no longer her own. It was someone else's, a woman with dark hair and a twisted grin. That night, as Sophie lay in bed, she heard the whispers again, louder this time, screaming her name. When the police arrived to investigate the apartment days later, they found the mirror shattered on the floor. But Sophie was never found. All they found were strange, unexplainable markings on the walls, scratches, as though someone had tried to claw their way out. And the whispers, they still echo through the empty apartment.